First and foremost, I'd like to welcome everybody to the show today. You are listening to Heart on Radio. And if this is your first time with us, thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to have you. Happy 2019, by the way. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Today's guest is Rion De'Rouen. And for those of you who perhaps are not familiar with Mr. Rion, he, I'd say he's one of the earliest wavers of starseeds to wake up and begin his mission in, was it 2009, 2000?
Yes, 2009.
Yeah, and ever since then, well, talk about seeing through the veil, third eye activated. No worries, it just looks like the Avengers full-time and Guardians of the Galaxy full-time. Third eye activated and basically began receiving information from his higher selves, just downloads upon downloads about how to create energy tools, about how to open and close portals, and then traveled planet Earth for 6 years or so.
6.5, 7 years.
6.5, 7 years on mission, cleaning up and activating sacred sites, old battlefields. Called himself a kind of galactic plumber, as we like to joke. And now really just continues his mission in being of multidimensional assistance to this planet and all of its people in this huge awakening that we are all going through. And I personally... Oh, yeah, my name is Shauna, by the way. I haven't introduced myself. Sorry to the new news. Welcome. But that's part of what this episode is about, is the new. It's 2019. It is a new year, and I also feel many more star seeds waking up this year. It's just going to continue to, I'm going to quote, who's our sister, that said this, we're now star blossoms. We're going from star seeds to star blossoms. And that was a really lovely quote from Bridget Nielsen. There we go. I knew I had the name somewhere. But we are star blossoming. And for those of us who perhaps began a little bit earlier in the awakening process, are now going to be transitioning to more of a teaching and guidance platform. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Mr. Rion. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolute pleasure.
And it's hard to pick a topic when you're talking to this guy, because there's like, what?
No, it's mellow.
No, there's so many, but there's so many caveats, my favorite word. So many caveats.
So many caveats.
To information.
So sapio.
So sapiosexual. If you don't know what that means, look it up. It'll give you a giggle. No, there's so many topics we get into, but we picked this one because it felt just intuitively correct. And it's how to raise your frequency. A really important topic. And this may be a review for some of you, but reviews are always good.
Well, the most important thing right now in 2019 is to let go of the past. There's a lot of things being cleaned up, not only in our I like to call it upstairs and downstairs. Obviously, some of the changes in our financial system, our political system, we're in a full-blown government shutdown right now, if depending on when this airs. But I do think that there are higher levels of consciousness now participating in the collective. Obviously being a part of the unified field, which we all are, it's important to understand that there's many different souls going through different experiences. Thus, when you guys show up here as starseeds from different worlds, different galaxies, different planets, and you've already gone through some of these 3D tests, really all you have to do is wake up and remember who you are. I like to make the reference, you're not learning how to ride a bike. You're simply remembering how to ride a bike. And, a lot of the different teachings and prophecies out there have always spoken about a great awakening, have always spoken about this golden age. Many different religions and old stories, I should say, even from the Sumerian times, talk about this great solar flash and this basically hard reset that's been going on. The Inuit people, contacted NASA. There's many posts out there saying that, hey, the sun has moved. I don't know if you guys have also noticed sometimes when the moon rises, one night it'll be, straight ahead. The next night it'll be off by 45 degrees. I mean, literally, The wobble and the earth shift is viewable. All you have to do is look up and pay attention. Some of the different things and activations that have been coming through the sun. I know when I grew up, and many of you guys listening to my voice right now, we grew up with a yellow sun. The sun was yellow when you looked at it. Well, if you go outside right now and take a gander at our beautiful star, you'll notice that it's white. It is no longer yellow. It is no longer dormant. If you guys don't believe me, go ahead and pull up like Lawrence of Arabia or an older movie that has a shot of the sun. It will come through just yellow. So with this new frequency, as we go through this ion belt, as we are all rolling through this Milky Way galaxy together, what I can tell you is that the uptake of frequency, because this is truly what this episode is about, is frequency, how to raise your frequency, and what are some of the things to truly understand to make it easier on you. I want to give you guys a visual. I'm from Southern California. I've been a surfer since I was 8 years old. Love the ocean, Pisces. I really am one with the Pacific Ocean.
That's like a dating profile.
Like a dating thing. I like long walks on the beach and
with Pisces,
waxing my surfboard. But what I can tell you is this. The most important thing to understand about being alive right now and understanding the changes that are happening right now is to meet the change with the same frequency that is changing it. So what do I mean by that? In life, when you're living in the matrix, you're basically sitting on the shore. You're staring at the waves. You've heard about surfing, but you never really tried it out. As you start to wake up, you start to move from the beach and you start walking towards the water. The water, imagine, is you waking up. Okay? Now you look down at your arm, you're holding a surfboard. You're wearing a wetsuit, or maybe some board shorts, or a bikini, whatever your choice is there. But you start wading into the water. Okay, we call this waking up. You've now gotten up off the beach of the collective, which is still unconscious and sleeping, and you are making your way towards the surf. As you're walking out towards the water, the more and more immersed you get into the water, the more aware you become of your environment, of your surroundings, of your body, of the ocean, being part of something. Many surfers understand that when you're in the water, you actually feel like, Gaia is giving you a hug. You are a part of something greater than yourself. That's why I love surfing, okay? So here's what's going on right now in the collective consciousness. People are waking up like little sea turtles and they're scuttling towards the beach. They're scuttling towards the beach and they're making it to the water. Well, here's what you don't want to do. Okay. If the frequency of the waves, you're a little turtle now and you're swimming for your life trying to make it out past the surf line, okay? You're like, oh my God.
Just keep swimming.
Conspiracy theories, things are happening. Oh my God. You're just a little turtle trying to make it outside. So here's the deal. Just like in surfing and just like that little turtle, the closer you get to the surf line, the more you feel the resistance or the change coming. You feel the waves now, going by you. Boom, one wave crashes, another wave crashes, another wave crashes. As you keep paddling out though, you got to paddle out past the surf line. Okay, what happens, a lot of people get on their surfboards, they start paddling and sometimes they get caught on the inside, okay, and they're just constantly being bombarded by waves, one after another, one after another, one after another, until that frequency either knocks you back to the shore and you have to start all over again, or you usually find something or someone or a higher self to blame. You're normally like, no one taught me how to surf. This surfboard is not properly measured for my body weight, whatever that may be, right? But the issue is this. You have to be strong enough in your clarity to make it out past the break line. Because once you make it out past the break line, everything is peaceful. You then get to hang out with the other surfers and surfettes out there that have made it through, the shore break and then out past, the first break, but you're now sitting outside. Once you're sitting outside, you can enjoy the day. It's mellow. You're feeling the frequency and the waves go underneath you. It's no longer crashing upon thee. Okay? Then you can sit there and wait for your perfect wave to paddle into and surf. Surf to your heart's delight. I say that to you because right now there's many choices and distortions in the field that you yourself individually need to choose to make your life easier. Okay? The material world is awesome in small doses. Okay? This is what I mean by that. Do not spend every single waking hour of your day locked in the 3D rat race. Do not spend every waking moment of the day trying to get ahead. Rather, take time for yourself. Health is wealth. Okay? Health is wealth. Are you happy? Are you healthy? Do you have good friends and family? Do you treat them with respect? Do you have love in your heart? When you see a piece of trash on the beach, do you pick it up? When you see someone hungry, do you stop by and get something for them to eat and drop it off and give them a smile? The whole thing is that we're all on the same team here on Earth. And it's just been a lot of programming, past conflicts, and all of this different religious dogmas and political systems and boundaries and countries and barriers. All this stuff has been created to keep everything separate. When the truth is, we are all one in our hearts. We are all one, all the same on the inside. But truly, we're all going through this emotional test together. I like 3D Earth because, when my third eye came on and I could see everyone's higher selves, vertically, I could see the guy standing in 3D and I could see his higher self over his shoulder, then keep, another one about 15 feet up in the air, another one about 15 feet up in the air. I could see the rings, I could see the cables of creation, I could see the cosmic beings actually puppeteering multiple time streams simultaneously. My vision now is accelerated to a place where I can actually change between channels. When my third eye first came on, I could see narrow band vision. So it's almost like mind's eye, but mind you, I'm awake, I could see into 5D perfectly. As I got more activated, I had to go into more of a broadband system because I had to monitor and track multiple targets simultaneously when I was doing activations to protect me, my squad, and to make sure that whatever the activation, closing, or opening a Stargate was necessary. And one of the main protocols when you're actually opening or closing dimensional gates is that you have to make sure if you're opening a gate downstairs to, say, free some souls that are being captured or have been held captive, you have to make sure nothing else comes out of that hole. You have to be strong enough to stop what's ever on the other side of the door. That's why it's one of those things that I recommend, that you're kind of born into. I would not recommend particularly, I think I have the higher selves that were kind of like, instead of like, okay, Bobby or Johnny, you want to learn how to swim? Let's put some floaties on your arms and go in the shallow side of the pool. My Anunnaki kind of threw me in the deep side of the pool and said, swim, boy, swim. So it was kind of like, it was almost like a baptism by fire for me. It was not, a lot of people, I did get to hang out with the angelics. I had some of the most amazing interactions with my angelics. One of the most amazing parts of me waking up and why I kind of had a tear to my eye when I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2 when he was playing catch with his father, and he made a chi ball. I actually have that exact memory that happened to me in 3D. I was in college and I could see my higher selves. My college classmates, completely unaware that could see 3D, are inside working on my computer for a film we were working on. I'm in the backyard, hiding from them, playing catch with my higher self. I started to understand a couple of things. One, obviously, this is not my first rodeo, and for many of you, it's not your first rodeo. I also then had to understand how to balance, calculate, and strategize what I could share and what I needed to hold in myself until I was old enough or experienced enough to speak it in a balanced manner. Sometimes when we wake up and one of our higher selves grabs the microphone, let's just say, you don't know if that's your light or your night aspect grabbing that microphone. It could be one of your night aspects on your right-hand side, right? Rather than maybe one of your light aspects on your left-hand side. Your heart is always on your left, okay? Going through these different things in the frequency modulations, I had to understand, I had to be able to process what was going on in 3D, 4D, 5D, and 6D, mainly, with an 8D version of myself overseeing the adjustments, while, mind you, the rest of my higher selves are also in full attire and working collectively to make changes. Most of them being old battlefields was my, truly, was one of my specialties and still is to this day. I'm very good with clearing old battlefields. Why? You guys, since time is all happening simultaneously, time is not viewed in the same way linearly as we perceive it here in 3D. So if there's an old battlefield from the Civil War in Pennsylvania, and for some reason no one can live there, it's still a farm field, and the people that live there can't sell the house, it's a very weird, spooky place. The issue is that in 4D or in another dimension or parallel reality, that battle is still happening right now in the present moment. And I know that's kind of hard to fathom based upon our lifespan, right? And how we calculate our reality. But anytime you have an inflection of conflict or resistance in the field, that field right, will remain unbalanced until it is adjusted properly, transmuted, integrated, and then restored back into a balanced manner. Thus, some of us have those jobs. I'm kind of like an earth acupuncturist. So again, they don't give that job to beings that can't hold that warrior spirit, because you are going to get, you're going to bump heads with some things that like to do things the way they've done it for the last 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 years and plus. I experienced this personally when I was in Easter Island and I was in the lava tubes in the island in 3D. Me and my brother Jason landed there, and it was 4 days of activations and clearing out the lava tubes. And I have my own armor that I wear that I made for myself, the sun disk on the front and back, and makes it so no lower dimensional being can actually hijack my suit. So basically, I'm like an armored tank with an 8-foot staff walking through lava tubes, half underwater. I was walking waist deep in water with my eyes closed, clearing out all that negativity and stuff that took place on that island about 1,000, 2,000 years ago. So again, another reflection. For some of you guys who have your third eyes come on very strongly, you'll begin to see better at night. I have very good vision at night. Another thing too is I see better at night. As far as my eyes and seeing through the veil. During the day was always meant for 3D activities, day activities. It's when the sun went down that in the old tribes, where I am Native American, we would light the fires. And I'm also Druid out there, all my homies out there in Scotland. We used to sit around the fire, us natives out there, and I have my favorite Druids out there, right? All my Toltecs out there. We used to sit around the fire, and that's when it was spirit time. That's when you hung out with your family. That's when you connected to the spirit world. That's when it was a good thing to see. The daily toil is for 3D. When that light's on, it's game time. Let's get some stuff going down here in 3D. But when it was nighttime and the fire was lit, that's truly when you got to be with your spiritual family. I cannot reference nor tell you how important it is I could never trade anything. You could not offer me anything that this planet has to offer for me not to wake up. Hanging out with your higher selves, being able to speak to your higher selves is one of the coolest things that could ever happen to you in any incarnation. There is no amount of money, material wealth, or anything this world can offer you that could ever be more than actually knowing who you are, where you come from, when you got here, hanging out with your higher self in meditation, having them teach you stuff off planet technologies, miracle cures, anything you want at your disposal. This world of distortion has been created to keep you out of that place, because if you actually knew how many times you've been here and you knew how old and wise your soul truly was, would this game even be a challenge for you? Ask yourself that. And did the older version or newer version of yourself already ascend? And this is your lower self now talking to you as I listen, as I'm talking to you now. Energetically, that version of me could have already gone to 5D. This is the version that was underneath him speaking. Would you know? Would your friends and family know that you've actually already ascended and you're actually in your lower form right now? There's many things that are happening behind the scenes. I tried to expand your mind to remember things that are most dear to your heart. Treating others with love, you get love back. The more love you put into the world, the more love you put into the universe, the more love you get back, the more light you get back. It's that simple. People try to make this large equation. Those masters can explain quantum physics with a banana, an apple, and a pear. They do not need to preach it in a book that's 1,500 pages long to a bunch of PhDs. You're not a master if you cannot explain these basic or very quantified things with very simple things. If you think you are a master and you can't explain something to a child, you need to keep working on it. This thing about being humble too. I've had to hit my knees many times. Every time I do an activation and I come home, for 6.5 years, I was gone every 60 days. I went to Bolivia. I went to the Sarajevo tunnels under the airport, and I cleared out all the souls that were there during the 90s war. I've been to Bosnia. I've been to the Sun Pyramid, Egypt, the Valley of the Kings. All of these different places I've been. There's like 40, 50 places I've been. Every time I go there, I try to make it better than when I got there. And I think for everyone on their activation, that's all you have to do. If that's giving somebody a hug, giving somebody a ride, picking someone up who's down, making someone smile, you're doing your job. It doesn't matter, how you feel specifically, but rather that you're always doing your best to improve the life of everyone and everything around you in the present moment and for future generations to come, as we fix the past and not make the same mistakes that have plagued this planet for quite some time. Rather to understand we were all in this game for experience, and that experience has been ascertained, learned, processed, and it's now ready for the entire population of Earth to experience a higher level game, a new game, where thoughts manifest, abundance is all around us, and we start to appreciate the magical kingdom that this planet truly is. That's what I'd like to say about that.
Well, I would say that
frequency.
That in and of itself
I think
rose
that
everybody's frequency.
I think that's a frequency I would like to be a part of. Yeah.
That is. Thank you for that. That was. Where does one go after that?
I drop
mic.
Drop the mic.
And we're done.
So it's been a pleasure speaking to you guys. I love you so much.
No, that isn't. Way to go. You get
the gold star.
Exactly.
No, and we're all doing this, by the way. This isn't, I always like to think about that, I'm more like from that King Arthur story in the sense that we all sit at the round table.
Yes.
I'm not really into that pyramid thing. I'm more into the round table, that everyone has an equal part to play. Everyone is equally strong and amazing and awesome. That's why when you look upstairs and you see the beings sitting on rings, it's because the ring or the sphere where everyone has an equal seat in the decision. And I think that's something that we need to bring back. I think that's something that has been forgotten, and it only serves the few based upon their limited motivations when it's anything other than that. And that goes not only for this planet, but all sectors in this galaxy.
You said something earlier about we showed up, we agreed to forget. It's part of this experience.
Yes.
We're now getting back on the bicycle and remembering. And then integration, which is where we are, I feel now. Everyone is working on integrating these things, which is a great jumping point for how to integrate higher frequency options into your lifestyle on a day-to-day basis until it becomes second nature. So let's talk about that for a moment. We know we live in a universe that's based upon vibration and frequency, and each of us are made up of
light. Energy.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's why this
1% matter, 99% empty space.
So that is exactly what we're referring to when we talk about frequency here, and how to raise your frequency is the focus point today. But before we go right into some of the tools and tips that you have for that, how can someone assess their frequency right now? What are some indicators?
When you wake up in the morning and you greet the sun with your eyes closed as you're facing the sun, look down at your body. Can you actually see the energetic color of your spectrum, or the color you're emitting? When I stare outside and I drink from the sun, I charge up for about 5 or 10 minutes, but then when I look down at my body, I can actually see my energy body in my bones. Just to let you know, the chi runs through the bone marrow of your body. The actual energy that comes, your receiving side is your left hand, your left side. Your left foot is your receiving foot. Your left hand is your receiving hand. This also on the left side is your yin side. Your yang side, your fire side, your sending side is on your right hand side. Your right hand sends energy. Your right foot sends energy. In the same way with your headphones, or when you listen to people, I always have headphones on usually when I'm interacting with people, because in my left ear I usually have some very pleasant music playing, but I'll pull my headphone back or remove my earbud, let's just say, on the right hand side. Why? Because I do not let anything enter my left eardrum to program me ever. I never have this 3D program access me ever. If we are here to flying down here and incarnating here and we chose to come down, my normal resonance is 5D. I stepped down to 3D to support this planet during their evolution and great transition. Once you guys kind of figure that out, who you really are, it's a really important thing to remind yourself, because you don't know you're underwater. Let me explain this to you in this analogy. Say a bunch of us are having a huge pool party. We just happen to be underwater. We're dancing around, we're underwater, we're having a great, 3D pool party, underwater, okay? Well, what happens is, someone walks away from the party and they start making their way towards the shallows, and all of a sudden they pop their head out above the water. And they're looking around and it's really peaceful and calm and nice. And then they pop their head down and look underwater. It looks like the red zone. It looks like turmoil. It looks like chaos. Then they walk to the pool and they pop their head out again. Here's the issue. As you get out of the pool and you're sitting on the side of the pool and you're looking down into it to all your friends and family and everyone partying or going through their 3D incarnation, let's just say in the red zone, you have to understand that they don't know they're underwater. And here's the craziest thing about being conscious. You don't know if you have a bad day if you take 2 more steps back into the pool. Another bad day, another step into the pool. All of a sudden you're back underwater and you have, it goes over you like a Snuggie. You don't know when you're underwater. You don't know. You only know when you pop your head out of the water that you've been sleeping or you've been unconscious. And it happens very, very easily, and it's almost like unconsciously. It's almost like you have a dream and you wake up from a daydream, and that essence is you just stay in that conscious level. You don't access your galactic aptitude. You don't talk to your angels. You don't access your higher levels of consciousness. You don't remember how many planets you visited. You don't know what your star cruiser looks like. You don't know how many worlds. I have the most amazing bike and my steeds in different dimensions that I ride. You kind of lose everything when you come back to the 3D. However, to always remember this, we are here to bring paradise to earth. We are here to bring heaven to earth. So all these amazing things that we dream and see, we have the complete capacity to create that paradise here. That is another reason why many earth gritters and earth workers and light workers have come here, because we understand the gift we've been given is to truly create paradise on earth. We can create that frequency here.
I'd say that's exactly the task at hand.
Yeah, that's what's going on right now.
So, for those of us who perhaps can't see our energy body, what is... It's like I'm trying to take a galactic PhD and be like, let's teach at a little bit of a lower level
so
here.
With the pink crayon,
but no,
on the whiteboard.
Would you say that it's just a matter of how you're feeling?
It's inner child work. Like, basically, there's many adults here. We lost our inner child. We could have been 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. We saw the first fight between our parents, maybe, or maybe we interacted with some kids at school, or maybe we were teased at school. At some point, we kind of closed our hearts off. And what happens is, your parents are like, you can't be a kid anymore. You got to grow up. You got to grow up. Like, for example, I was raised in a house where men don't cry. I had an old school.
I was raised in a house where men always cry.
Yeah, I was raised in a house that men don't cry, we breathe. Because I'd play soccer and you'd roll an ankle or something, and, crying's not going to help you, boy, breathe. And I'd just be like, and it actually kind of works. Crying, I'm not going to lie. You hurt yourself, take a couple real deep breaths. Crying, you got to get over it at some point. But the emotional crying or purging is different than obviously you hurt yourself type of pain. I enjoy a good little sniffle. When when definitely certain movies get me going, or emotional things, or
Aquaman.
I had about 4 or 5 like parallel realities when I was watching Aquaman. I was like, oh my god, this is my jam.
Yeah.
So
ailment. I would just want to jump in and say I think, illness. If you're suffering from any kind of...
There's some strength. So let me teach you a little technique I do.
Well, I'm just saying indicators of where your frequency's at. If you're constantly suffering from migraines, nausea, etc., that's an indicator that something's off. If you're waking up with negative thought patterns or you're in pain body...
You got to shut that off. And because something on your night side's feeding off that buffet when you're turning on the Loosh fountain and negative thoughts are just rampantly running through your head. This I can share with you in truth. When you find the confidence in yourself and you drink from the sun every day and you take care of your body and you take care of those around you and you work hard and diligently and you really try to be the best version of yourself, there have been times, like for example, when I felt myself getting the sniffles or maybe a cold and maybe everyone around me got the cold, I would go into the sun. I would close my eyes and meditate, and I would say, I am stronger than the virus that's trying to attack my body. I am stronger than the illness, and I would literally vibrate and cook that off my body. I know there's been thousands and hundreds of thousands of cancer survivors that the doctor said, hey, you're not gonna make it. You might as well say your goodbyes. And they went into complete remission. Why? They believed they could heal themselves. Mm-hmm. They believed that they could be healthy again. And they rewrit the script inside of their biological suit for everything is consciousness. I just give that as an example. Mind you, I understand that subject is very touchy. But what I'm trying to express is having a positive attitude towards whatever you're going to do is always going to lead to a more positive outcome. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't have to be a kumbaya kombucha ceremony. If you have positive thoughts going through your mind every 24 hours a day, it's going to be very difficult for a negative thought to sneak in because it's no longer a part of your reality. And I just wanted to express that to you. It's actually very simple. There's a lot of mantras I use to maintain that. One of my favorites I'll share with you now. When I first started, channeling or having, big ETs in my den talking to me in admiral outfits, I learned some things.
On a Tuesday.
I learned some things on a Tuesday night. Basically, and mind you, I woke up and everyone around me was asleep, and it was very difficult for me to even, interact at that point, But one of the things I learned was this saying. Only those beings which exist in the highest order of light may stand in my presence. Only those beings which exist in the highest order of light may stand in my presence. Only those beings which exist in the highest order of light may stand in my presence. Only those beings which exist in the highest order of light may stand in my presence. And I would say that in each direction, 4 directions, 4 times, saying things 3 times. It might be misinformation. I definitely think 4 directions, 4 times. And I would say that before I laid down in bed, and I requested, hey, higher self, can you help me with this? Med team, I had my med team, I could see my med team. The funniest thing about me was my eyes came on my 29th birthday at 2:38 p.m. But for the first 8 months, I could see perfectly, or in my own, way. Again, I see differently now, but I couldn't hear anything. So imagine getting ready for an activation and you can see perfectly, but you can't hear nothing. So I'm sitting there and they're trying to talk to me. And I literally had to learn sign language because for 8 months I could see through my third eye, but I could not hear anything. My throat chakra had not been activated yet. So it was really funny. It was like monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, you're like playing charades.
Yeah, I was like, is it a yes?
3 words.
Is it a no? I'll tell you a secret too. When you guys first have your eyes come on, it's almost like an old 1920s television when you're laying in bed in the dark.
That's my favorite time.
You keep one eye closed. You open your right eye at the peripheral. So keep one eye closed. Keep your right eye open just barely. And look out your right eye at 45 degrees. And you're going to have to rotate your whole body till that's straight ahead. And what I do is I can see my higher self if I did that. But the issue is that I would ask questions. Should I do this? Yes or no? And then I would say, do it, because I couldn't see very well. So I was like, do a jumping jack if it's a yes. Don't do a jumping jack if it's a no. So all my guys are trained around me to jump up in the air and do a jumping jack if it's
large movements helps a lot. Don't be like, give me a thumbs up. No, be like, do a jumping jack. I can see that. Large movements in the very beginning help me a lot to discern. And the whole thing is some people are more gifted with touch. Vibrate my left hand if it's a yes. Vibrate my right hand if it's a no. Mm-hmm. Vibrate both hands if it's maybe. Some people are better feelers. Flex your left pectoral and just ask yourself, if it feels good, it's a yes. If it feels no, don't do it. Mm-hmm. Same thing in the level 1, obviously, would be your intuition and your tum-tum. Does it feel like something I'd like to do? Is that how you'd like to be treated? If your stomach feels good, do it. If it doesn't feel good, pause. Mm-hmm. Pause is a huge word that people need to learn in this land of instant gratification. Mm-hmm. Pause. It's very important to be like, you know what? You have a big decision to make. Someone's trying to force you to make a decision. It could be a very serious thing. It could be a very simple thing. I say things like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pause. I'm going to go ahead and go to the gym, and I'm going to steam, and I'm going to meditate on this question, and tomorrow around 9 a.m. I'll give you my answer. You do not have to give these people or anyone around you. No one can force you to give an answer you don't want to give. So please give yourself enough time and understand the power of pause. To give yourself enough time to meditate on the situation before you take an action. I think that helps.
This is me pausing.
Pausing?
This is me pausing.
I was like, are we paused? I was like...
I made a decision
and I'm pausing.
To pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
It helps to say, I'm going to pause.
Maybe you should let others know.
Just lock up like a deer and just stare at them. Like, I'm telepathically telling you, I'm going to pause.
You know that I know.
You know that I know that this is not what we want. So I'm going to pause. Awesome.
No, that's fantastic. Because truly, when you take that moment to pause, you can feel your energetic reaction, response. First thing.
You're now asking your soul to help you make a decision.
Yes.
And that's all. They finally go, congratulations. You're not in little 3D ego land. You're not listening to your 4D ego program. You're actually taking a moment like an adult, a spiritual adult, to assess the situation and make the right decision. That is how we're supposed to operate here.
Yes. And I feel like that is a lot of the climate for this 2019. The curiosity and playfulness of the inner child is driving, but the adult is still present. The adult self is still present, taking care of things that need to get done.
Tough decisions, or you're really stressed out from work and it's really starting to get to you. Stop by a smoothie place, get a smoothie. Don't go straight home. Go straight to the gym. Bring a clean change of clothes. You're talking about raising your frequency. What's your habit? What's your consistency? Why do some things affect others so drastically over others? Well, what's their consistency? What's their day-to-day? How do they take care of themselves? Do they charge from the sun? Do they meditate? Do they go to work and handle their business? Do they try not to engage all of their emotions like a roller coaster? Do they try to stay in their heart? And do they try to continually improve themselves every single day? It being a gift, the present, right? Are you taking advantage of every single day as a benefit to you rather than dragging your heels through life going, why do I have to be here? It's the same, everyone puts their pants on the same way every day, right? Or maybe you put on a dress, whatever that is. But, it's one leg at a time. So no matter if you're the president of the United States, the secretary of, the UN, or, your friends and family going to school. Everyone has 24 hours in the day to make the best of it, right? So use your 24 hours in the day to at least have an hour or two of your alone time, or your gym time, or you take a walk around the block, walk the dog, look at the sun, put some nice music on time. Everyone needs at least 2 hours a day to do them without having to take orders from other people, expectations from other people. You really have to be singular, at least an hour or 2 hours a day. If you can't do that, how are you expecting to be able to handle your multidimensionality? If you can't handle 3D, how can your higher selves turn on what 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D is when you're totally maxed out just putting food on the table? So we're all supposed to evolve and learn how to not work harder, but work smarter. right? And in that same manner, try to develop enough time to take time out for ourselves, our family, go on vacation, go camping, do things that really enrich the soul rather than the material pockets of, someone else who doesn't have your best interest in mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how hard these central bankers work at their job, but I guarantee if I walked into a boardroom and I stared at them physically and I scanned them, I wouldn't see anything to write home about. A lot of these things that have been taken from us and a lot of the good people out there, let me express something to you. When I used to do these activations and I used to jump to these different territories on Earth, when I actually showed up to where the vessel was, it was nothing to write home about. It's a projection of fear. It's a projection of control. It's not real. So I had to learn that the hard way, or the good way, I should say, because I'm probably the last one you want. Hi, I'm here. Can you step outside, please? So that was my job for 6.5, 7 years. For you guys out there to create the abundance in your family and loved ones, to educate them. Hey, Mom, that's why we don't eat this. Hey, Dad, is there still fluoride in that toothpaste? No, you can't use Crest. I bought you Desert Essence. It tastes better. It still whitens your teeth, Pops. No, Mom, it's a Berkey filter. You put the water in the top. It has fluoride filters. Just make your tea and coffee with that water. Yes, Dad, that's a smart meter block. You put it on the outside of the smart meter so when the pulse goes off at 3 a.m, it doesn't cut your telomeres in half. Small things. But it's practical things. It's very small, but practical things that really help and make those certain adjustments for the mass consciousness.
Right. So let's get right into the nitty gritty of it, because I know that you do.
Let's get down.
Let's get down and dirty.
Cosmos.
No, let's get up and clean. Okay.
Up and clean.
So first of all, you touched on a couple of great things right there, and I encourage people to go ahead and grab pen and paper or something. I know that these are things that you go through in some of your sessions at some of the let's clean up shop immediately. So you mentioned Berkey filter. Making sure that your water is as high a frequency as possible.
If you have a 5-stage filter under your sink and it has fluoride filters on it, you're good to go.
And bottled water is one of the lowest frequency waters.
I believe Evian, Fiji has some of the highest levels of fluoride in the water.
Yeah. So clean up your water, number one. You also mentioned the fluoride in the toothpaste.
Gotta get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Don't you guys think it's funny why they give little kids to the age of 16 when they're done getting their teeth cleaned, they give them the fluoride procedure where they fill the little bite plate full of fluoride and you're supposed to hold it for a minute after they've just broken the seals on your gum so your actual bloodstream's exposed.
Ew.
And it's fluoride. They call it fluoride.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely. So again, I don't think the dentists practicing right now actually even understand what they're doing, but I mean in that sense. But again, another example.
Exercise. I feel like this gets left out a lot.
35 minutes of cardio a day. I'll kind of walk you through my gym routine, and I think that's the easiest way for me to explain something. Is just talk about what I do. I go into the gym, check into my gym. I have a nice gym. I recommend everyone out there that goes to a gym or can afford a gym, I definitely recommend it, especially one with a steam room or a sauna, because that is the for sure way I know that I'm detoxing whatever I'm eating, drinking, or breathing, especially with all these chemtrails and stuff. It's worth the penny because it actually turns into your sanctuary where you can escape from work, escape from the family, escape from stress. The gym is a safe place to express yourself and relax. That's what I like about the gym. It's like my temple.
It absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just going to say those words.
Yeah.
And when you raise your frequency, when you are at a place where you're exploding energy to such a level, and that could mean yoga, that could mean Kundalini yoga, a lot of deep breathing. When you're at that level, lower energies can't stick to you. They physically can't.
I've literally been on the elliptical machine before, and about 20 minutes in, my eyes closed, and I was going through a lot of stress. I felt a lot of attachments and things on me. As soon as my heart rate got over 120, 130, and I basically hit a certain couple songs on my playlist, music obviously being very important, I actually raised my frequency. I exploded the cables or connections off my body. Another way to do that is if you have a very awesome partner. There are certain Kundalini things you can do with a partner if you're in a relationship that also can have the same effect.
Well, anytime I think you're integrating breath.
Yes.
Breath is organizing the cells.
And to be explosive, I don't know who taught everyone down here to be so. I mean, I don't know. Like the whole religion thing of let's sit quietly and watch one guy talk about, one of my friends and brothers from a past life and express some stuff in a very calm way. What happened to just having a entire subset of, for example, I like the Buddhist monks, right? Tibetan monks. Well, everyone says, God, they sit around all day and they just meditate. Yeah, what they don't see is they get up at 5 in the mornings, eat 2,000 or 3,000 calories of vegetables, then they run 6 miles, then they do an hour of calisthenics, maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours of activities, and then hit the fields. And then, when they come back around noon after they eat, they meditate for 8 hours. But all people hear is, oh, they just sit there and meditate. Did you not understand they were in the fields for 4 hours or worked out for 2 hours before they then meditated from lunch to time to go to sleep? It's like they're missing the energetic component. And same thing with the Falun Gong. In China, when I was over in China gridding over there, and I gridded the entire western side of China, and I was helping out, and I was visiting my past ancestors over there in the mountains like Wenzhou, and I remember my past lives there in China as a kung fu master with the white hair and looked like the guy from Kill Bill. The gangster, ha 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 ha, with the little bun and the chopstick. I'm over there, and I just noticed I miss most of the training we had when we were little. Because by the time you were 8 or 12 years old, you already had 80% of what you have already learned as an adult in the Western world. You knew how to take care of yourself. Your body was strong. You knew how to meditate. You knew how to be one with yourself. It was I just feel like we've been robbed. We've been robbed and programmed of actually what it actually means to be human. What it actually means to be, a kung fu master or a Jedi I just say these terms so people can understand, but being able to go onto a mountain when you're all by yourself, close your eyes, connect and swallow the wind into your soul and begin to move clouds around a mountain, stop clouds, listen to the wind, draw in the frequency of the forest into your body. There is nothing in this world that compares to being able to remember how to do that stuff. And what do we have now? Video games, cell phones, faxes, 9 to 5. No one's teaching and no one remembers how awesome it was to be just an amazing sentient being on this planet that connects with nature. There's some things here that I wish in the future we do better and differently. Like, for example, very simple thing, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts. Why would you want to put your kid in Cub Scout or Boy Scouts? Well, when that kid grows up, he's going to appreciate nature and why you take care of the forest. I was a junior lifeguard when I was a little kid too. What does that mean? From 8 years old, I was swimming in the ocean, and junior lifeguards, 9 years old, 10 years old. What does that do? Makes you appreciate the ocean. Makes you want to have clean water. Makes you want to not pick up the trash and not have trash in the ocean. It makes you appreciate things when you're younger, when you get to experience them and you understand and you have that parental tutelage to go, son, daughter, this is why we do this. Son, daughter, we don't leave a mess here. Son, daughter, we don't hurt Gaia. We are the stewards of this planet. I'm the first one to love all those videos of, the sea turtles, when they get caught in a net. I love when the guys jump in the water, and save the turtle, save the dolphin, save the orca. That's my highlight reel. The rest of this fake stuff in Hollywood, that's fantastic. That's like watching sports on TV. Real heroes are out there doing this stuff day in, day out. And this is not just about frequency in this video. This is to inspire you to truly remember what it is to be an amazing, sentient, multidimensional, sovereign being on this planet. During the Great Transition, in our lifetime, the sun's already turned from yellow to white. Okay? Now is a time for action. Now is a time for your heart to turn on like a plasma cannon, ion cannon. Now is the time to get into your body. Prepare your body, take care of your body, raise your frequency, right? Check your diet right?
Mm-hmm.
And do some of these things which allow a higher level of awareness, which again allows you to appreciate your surroundings that much more.
Right. It is body, mind, spirit.
Absolutely.
And getting back to the exercise aspect, that is actually meditative for some people.
Absolutely.
Your form of meditation may not be folded legs, sitting quietly.
You could go on a run. So a lot of people meditate when they run.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Swim. Like I said.
Swimming.
Yeah,
Water. There we go. Water is another one I wanted to talk about. Not just the high energy drinking water, but physically getting in the water is a way to raise your frequency immediately. I think we all feel great when we jump into a hot shower, right?
Right.
So if you don't have a body of water near you, a pool near you, etc.,
a bathtub, Epsom salt or Himalayan salt bath.
right.
Will do it for you. Yeah.
Let's talk about diet. So living food. I think you want to.
My favorite food is vegetarian chicken nuggets made by QUORN, corn.
Corn, yeah.
Because it has no.
There's no soy.
No soy, no gluten. I believe.
Right.
Again, processed food. I know for the real vegans and vegetarians out there, I understand 100% what you're saying. And yes, if I wish I had a private cook to make me organic, chicken nuggets, fake chicken nuggets. But I learned something about myself. My smoothie is my staple in the day. I use pea protein, non-GMO pea protein, PEA protein.
As opposed to urine.
I'm just trying to be clear out there. As I can feel people writing things down. So pea protein. Why? Is because if you are kind of vegetarian and maybe you're still eating eggs, they make whey protein, WHEY, utilizing eggs. So you got to watch your cholesterol level. So I'd say pea protein in the smoothie. Obviously organic eggs. I know that's vegetarian. That's not vegan. Me personally, whatever your diet may be, please no red meat. Please no pork. The reason why you don't want to eat pork or bacon is because it's only a couple molecules away from human flesh. I don't know if you guys knew that. That's why when people have a heart valve or a heart replacement, why they can put a pig heart inside of a human being and it works. That's how similar we are. Okay, if they can put a pig heart in a human being and keep him alive, why are we eating things, right? And I think even Yeshua and even in other religions, pork, no.
Yeah.
Can't eat pork. Don't do it. So anyways, I know bacon tastes amazing. I was younger. I had bacon before. Turkey bacon. If you got to have something, turkey bacon. And there's even other vegetarian versions out there. Again, everyone's entitled to eat however they want to eat. Okay? But I just think you'd be a lot different if you had to go out there into the farm and whack a cow to eat a hamburger or whack a chicken to eat a chicken McNuggets. If you want to be like,
you may opt for the salad.
Here's my whole thing. If you want to be like so macho Camacho, this is coming from a warrior standpoint. You want to be super macho Camacho? Go into a farm and go ahead and butcher your own meat. And after you butcher your own meat, ask yourself, is this worth it? When that cow looks at you in the eyes and goes, is this really going down right now, bro? Then you can say, I'm a meat eater. Until you experience that one time, please don't waste my time with anything other than that. People need to understand what they're doing, okay? And again, I want to finish on this.
Yeah.
I myself, when I was younger, unconscious, obviously I had meat. I was in football. I used to eat a baked potato and a chicken. That was my dinner, right? Lifts and weights, do my thing. What I'm trying to get to now is, as long as I get enough protein in my body, I'm happy. When food turned into sustenance, not pleasure, people need to understand that sometimes when you eat something, you get pleasure from it. Oh my God, it tastes so good. Mm-hmm. Okay? Well, what happens when you're on a spaceship? You guys want to be ETs, and you got food replicators up there, and they're printing what you guys like to eat down here with amino acids and different plant particles or whatever that is, right? What exactly are you addicted to? Is it the taste? Is it the sustenance? Break it down to its basic core elements, right? And a lot of that stuff, there's lots of vegan bodybuilders out there that I'm sure could school a lot of people on. Actually, well, look at a mountain back gorilla. That dude's stacked. What's he eat? Vegetables. Some of the biggest animals on the earth are vegetarian. So.
What is that shark that you love?
Whale shark.
Whale
my favorite.
Shark.
Whale shark's my favorite.
And they're vegetarian.
They're vegetarian. They might eat krill. I can't remember. But, it's a combination of things. But I just try to say that to someone because I know there's a lot of people out there trying to figure this out, I would at least try to be vegetarian. I mean, just try it. I mean, like this is the whole full spectrum of the planet, right? I'm just trying to say, maybe try it for 6 months. The vegetarian chicken nuggets are fire that I have with some wing sauce. Vegetarian chicken patties, your protein. You know, there's a lot of stuff you guys can eat out there.
Nuts.
And if you're
seeds.
if you're gonna have to eat something, if you want to try something other than chicken, try turkey. You know, a lean turkey meat, and then eventually wean yourself off that. What I'm trying to get to is, in the same way an alcoholic weans themselves off of vodka or bourbon, it's the same way people need to wean themselves off some of the stuff they're eating, period. You know, do you need to come home every day and have a shot of whiskey? No. Well, do you need to come home every day and have a piece of steak? Well, I'm just trying to get to, people want to put it in a different category because they think, oh, that's the social norm here. What I'm trying to express is, and what the topic of this comment is, this video is, frequency.
Right.
How can I raise your frequency, or how can you raise your frequency if you're eating dead flesh? Do you know how difficult that is? That's like you guys are a super powered V12, super unleaded rocket fuel Ferrari, and you keep throwing diesel in the engine. You're never going to run right. The engine's never going to fire properly, okay? Now, everything, like, I'm not trying to change everyone's diet here. What I'm trying to say is everything in moderation. You're going out to dinner with friends. You don't want to make a big deal. That someone orders a chicken pasta. You make a blessing or a prayer. Go ahead. You know what I mean? No one's pointing a finger here. And again, I just want to be real clear with this because this is a very touchy subject for a lot of people, okay? I love you first and foremost, 1. 2, I've been meat-free for almost 9 years. When I woke up, I went kind of vegetarian. Basically, I'll still have a piece of salmon sometimes. Sometimes I'll have some sushi. But I'm talking about that turns into like once a month maybe. It's not like, oh, that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I got to eat. No. Vegetarian, a breakfast burrito with some almond cheese.
Almond cheese, beans.
Beans and, 3 organic eggs and a gluten-free tortilla. I mean, come on now. I mean, there's a will, there's a way, and I just think that we need to pay a little more attention of how we're treating the animals and what we're putting in our bodies. And that's all I'd like to share with that.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think overall, the more that you consume things that are free of any type of extracurricular
and here's the thing,
sources.
And here's the thing: if you guys are farmers out there and you got chickens in your backyard, you eat the eggs and you eat your own chickens, dude, have at it. There's so much arsenic in the chickens where I grew up in, like California, Los Angeles, Arizona. There's arsenic in the chicken. You do an experiment, they're loaded with arsenic. They're loaded with growth hormones. I'm not saying the chicken per se is bad. I'm saying what they're putting in the chicken that you're eating has issues.
And the consciousness of the animal at that time.
Absolutely.
What kind of circumstances was the animal a part of? So let's get away from that and just say, no, let's just.
This can be edited later.
But the
it's
real
a touchy subject.
Yeah, the real point I want to make is I think honor your body first and foremost.
Yes.
What are you feeling? Love your body, respect your body, listen to your body. Anything that is as close to living as possible is going to get you the highest frequency. Throw away your microwave. Just do it right now. Like, throw it out the window.
Just don't have it in the house.
Don't own a microwave.
You never have to worry about it.
Microwaves completely deplete. I think it was something like 60 to 90%.
Yeah, the Russians also said when the first microwaves came out, they paused on releasing it to the population, on their population, until more of the scientific studies were done. And then even when they released it, they let the people know that it actually did have effects. I mean, to their population.
Oh yeah.
In the United States, they were like, shoot it, microwave in every house. Like they didn't care. It was all about that capital gain over here. So it's not good for you.
It is not good for you. Don't even own a microwave. Take the extra moment to love yourself and throw it on the stove.
Or just get one of those little small toaster ovens, dude.
Toaster oven.
Toaster oven. Get a little metal pan. Get a toaster oven. Throw it in a little toaster oven. Hit toast.
And then one other thing I want to mention, because again, you're out to eat with friends, etc., etc.
Right.
Blessing your food, because the power of intention and thought can change the molecular structure of food.
Yes.
So, Rion, I know that's something you do every time I've gone out to eat with you, or anytime. Yeah,
I always clear
that's
my
a great
food.
habit.
It's basically I take my right hand over my plate of food. It's a left to right rotation. So left to right, left to right. I basically take my energy from my hand. I then create a field about 6 inches, make my hand about 6 inches bigger in all directions with golden light. And I rotate from left to right, left to right. I reach my energy. I put my hand over the food. My energy swallows the food. I don't get my hands in the food, obviously, but my energy hands in the food. And then I rotate, rotate, rotate. I grab the lowest frequency I can find, and I literally just rotate my hand up, boom, and I throw that frequency off of my food. Since everything is energy, you have the complete capacity to transmute anything that comes in contact with you.
Yes. So I think that is a definite nugget of wisdom there. So let's also talk about essential oils. I learned that rose is the highest frequency essential oil, which to me is...
It's like the vibration of a rose is one of the highest vibrating frequencies of plants, period.
So literally stop and smell the roses.
Yes, absolutely.
Legitimately, it will raise your frequency. Or get some rose geranium.
Plant roses around your home. They're amazing.
Okay, crystals. I know crystals are huge.
My favorite essential oils are going to be eucalyptus. I like eucalyptus oil. I like the smell of lime.
Yes.
Funny enough. I like vanilla and I like lavender.
Dragon's blood.
Dragon's blood's good. Doesn't smell amazing. I like to have my humidifier smell like a spa, which is going to be eucalyptus.
Right.
Mainly.
Exactly. But get a list of some of these essential oils and let your body choose for you what feels.
Frankincense and myrrh is amazing incense to burn because that locks in your frequency. So if you guys get frankincense and myrrh, that locks in your frequency. So let me express something to you. If you are processing something, clearing something, waking up at 3 a.m, and you got some weirdness, sage, and then like dragon's blood. In the morning, I put frankincense and myrrh closest to me when I'm having my morning coffee and I'm drinking from the sun, and I'll light a dragon's blood and put it by the front door. So the old energy from last night's leaving, it's being transmuted by the dragon's blood, but my new frequency of abundance is being locked in with the frankincense and myrrh.
I love that.
So if you have a party at your house and everyone leaves, sage to the house, light the dragon's blood. Okay? In the morning when it's just you and the energy feels great, light the frankincense and myrrh.
I love that. That's great. Okay. Gratitude. That's another very high frequency. I always recommend writing a gratitude list from the smallest to the largest things in your life.
It makes you humble and be appreciative to your elders and all of your higher selves, which have assisted to provide you the life to feel that abundant.
Yes. And eliminating anything unnatural or that has any disruptive ingredients. So try to make all of your face products, your skincare, your hair care as natural as possible with as few ingredients as possible.
That's exactly the key is when you turn it over and like how you know it's a good product against a kind of like a weird product, just flip it over. If it has more than 6 elements into it, don't buy it. I mean, if you're buying oatmeal shouldn't have yellow fiber. You know what I mean? It's oats. They kind of come out. Eat the oats. I mean, it shouldn't be like there's 15 things in my, Yeah. And by the way, if you're going to do the instant oatmeal, can you just give yourself an extra minute or two and just use the raw oats? Put a little butter, put a little, honey or something in there. But
Cinnamon.
A lot of this instant stuff, it's instant because of all the stuff they add to it. Just letting you know.
Precisely. And, deodorant, there is aluminum and carcinogens.
Never buy an
antiperspirant.
Antiperspirant, the main active ingredient is aluminum. Aluminum gets into your bloodstream. Aluminum combined with fluoride, that molecule has the ability to pass your brain barrier wall and calcify your third eye. This is fact. If you guys want to Google it or whatever, but there's 50, 60-year-old people they took CAT scans of their brain, and their third eye was calcified like a white rock. Your third eye, your true lens into the universe, should look like a little gooey, teardrop, like a little gummy bear. But never, ever, that's the texture, right? But never, ever a dried out white rock. That means your third eye's been, unfortunately, is not usable.
Right. It's like mummified at that point.
Yeah. It looks like calcified bone matter. That's what it looks like.
get out into nature and
Whenever
drink
your
the
frequency
sunlight.
is too high and you're not grounded, let me help all the star seeds out there. Okay?
That's something to address too. Yes.
In Sedona, I'm living in powered pyramids. I'm living in one of the largest vortexes on Earth in Thunder Mountain. Sometimes when I can't get in my body, sometimes when there's just so much going on and I don't feel grounded, I will do very subtle thing. Instead of kind of like letting your wheels spin at 1,000 miles an hour, I get my leaf blower, or you guys go get the garden hose, go in the backyard, take your shoes off, walk barefoot, and I use the leaf blower and I'll blow a nice path through the forest next to my house. Or when I get the red rock dust on my feet, the energy instantly discharges from me and I feel grounded and happy. Same thing if you guys go in the backyard, water the plants. And, if you're going to wear sandals or some shoes, don't wear sandals or shoes that have these huge rubber insoles.
Yeah.
Wear like those little thin ones that you just kind of, my feet don't get dirty, but it's not like you have these huge rubber insole protecting you from or insulating you from the ground.
Right.
What you want is the ground. Now, if some of you guys don't like to walk around barefoot or you don't want to take your shoes off or wear like certain shoes, all you have to do is find a place in your backyard and sit. Sit on a flat rock. Sit on a park bench. Sit on something that is grounded. That helps a lot too.
Mm-hmm. And eliminating any items or clutter in your world, especially things like wood. Wood carries memories.
Do not take your great grandfather's oak wood desk and put it in your bedroom and think it's not going to have an effect. Just everyone needs to understand this on Earth. Wood has a memory. Okay, wood memorizes the frequency around it. Okay, so if you've got an old piece of furniture from even a family member that you weren't even too fond of, get it out of your house, donate it. I'm just trying to be honest.
Yep.
Wood carries memory. Some of those old, why do you think the presidential desk is such a big deal? How many powerful men have sat at this desk since George Washington? My whole thing is that wood has the ability to take a thumbprint of time and space and it resonates through the wood and can actually hold the memory or the frequency in the space. So if you guys are surrounded by very old things or things that you got and you're donating and you walk up to it, use your intuition, walk up to it, put your right hand on it, close your eyes and go, do I need this in my house? It's different than going, oh, it's a part of my set. Or I've always had that. Well, have you always woke up to? Didn't you spend the first 80% of your life or 50% of your life or 20% of your life sleeping? What else weren't you aware of? Mm-hmm. It's much better to go and create something new, recycle something.
Yes.
Just do something that feels right for you. That's all.
Precisely, yeah. Letting go of any old clothing, old items, jewelry, attachments.
Donate it.
To
Don't throw it away. You donate
yeah,
it. There's
donate
someone out
it.
there that needs it. Just donate
Exactly.
stuff that no longer serves.
Exactly. And then I guess just the last few things are obviously being in a creative and playful and joyous state is the highest.
Yes.
Highest.
Bliss.
Yes.
Blissed out's the highest state,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because your inner child's behind the wheel. It's just amazing. You can still be super creative. And literally, if you're around a bunch of loving people or a family that are also blissed out, it's an amazing experience. And you can actually feel when someone of a lower frequency comes around you and try to, kills your vibe. I like that t-shirt, don't kill my vibe. I'm vibing high over here. Yoga, I'm vibing. Don't kill my vibe, bro. My thing is that those that take the time to raise their frequency, there's a consistency in their lifestyle that someone else who is not choosing to do that want to feed off sometimes because they're not it's like someone's taking the test and studying for their test and evolving, and someone who just wants to stay the same isn't studying, yet they rather just study off your test and cheat. They're actually not learning what they're supposed to be doing or focusing on what they're supposed to be learning in this incarnation. Rather, they're just trying to ride your coattails and drain you slowly. So my thing is for everyone out here in 2019, pick those around you that have a similar open mind, like mindset, team-oriented, hearts open, focused, efficient, and ready to change this world. Those are the people you guys should be hanging out with this year.
Yeah, baby, that was exactly going to be my closer there is the people you're with, man. That is so important.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Exactly. And you are the summation of the 6 people you spend the most time with. So really evaluate those people and, love them and bless them, but you got to do you because we're trying to flip a planet, as Rion puts very beautifully. Okay, so We pulled a card this week from Ascended Masters Oracle cards, which is Doreen Virtue's deck. Thank you, Miss Doreen. And Rion here got, you are seeing this situation accurately, Horus.
My boy.
So I love this so much. I'll just read a quick blurb. Trust your feelings about the situation because they are accurate and valid. Let go of self-doubt, even in the face of others' opinions. Your spiritual sensitivity has helped you see the truth. Although it may be easier to go along with the crowd or to shrink into apathy, you're called upon to take decisive action. You already know what to do. Even if people aren't supporting you, know that spirit is. Other people will soon come around to your point of view. In the meantime, assume a leadership role. I love that so much because that's
so
like
on point for what I'm doing in my life right now.
Right, and absolutely. I think everybody, it's all about spiritual gains this year.
Spiritual gains.
So that's a really rad card. And it just came to me again with crystals and color. Those are also really high vibrational things for your frequency.
Absolutely.
And if you go ahead and Google a chakra chart, I would say crystals that fall into the colors of purples and blues are usually higher frequency.
Pinks.
Pinks as well, but the higher frequency ones are usually sitting in that purple and blue area. Crystals have so many different properties. Blacks are really good for clearing and cleansing, so it depends on what you need. But crystals and high vibrational colors are our homies.
I just heard a bunch of people's brains out there. What are some good crystals?
Thank you.
Shungite from the Ukraine, the buckyball molecule is amazing. Black tourmaline negates negative frequency. What is another? Bronzite, which is a brown stone, reflects any negative energy sent towards it back threefold. It's an old school white wizard stone, bronzite. It's very dense to use.
Aqua Aura.
Yes.
Lapis lazuli.
Yes. Sodalite for third eye.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I love those. Again, those are some.
Oh, wait, we go on tick for tack. Selenite. What you got?
No, you got me all
Rose quartz. Adventuring.
You're like I'm on Jeopardy. You won. Don't worry. I got my few.
I want some more. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Tick for tack.
Whatever. Look, you're the authority. I'm the interviewer.
No, I am not an authority. I'm just
in this room.
If this reality was Tron, I would be a user.
I don't know what that means, but I like the way you said it.
Tron, you get it.
Okay. Rion, wow. Thank you so much. Really appreciate this. Absolutely. I love all of you guys out there.
And I love everyone across planet Earth.
Yeah.
Here's some things.
So
here's some things that you guys know too. Hey, financial systems changing.
Yep.
Political systems changing. It's time for you guys to remember who you are. It's time for the whole planet to come together. It's time to remember how awesome we are as one. It's time to remember our true history. Okay? Where we really come from. Right? How awesome it is to be here with my brothers and sisters right now and see the positive things on this planet. Please pay attention to your heart. Please pay attention to your intuition. And together we are unstoppable. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you guys today. I am Rion.
Yay. Thank you all so much. We love you across planet Earth and beyond. If you want to hear more about this card that we pulled today, I'm going to be posting that on our Instagram and Facebook, etc. If you'd like to find out more about Rion, please visit teamlight.com, teamlight.com, but I'll go ahead and have that link for you below. And if you want to see more about his products, the Organite crystal products that he makes to help raise your frequency, that will be at store.teamlight.com. And he also is doing a really lovely offer right now just for this broadcast, just for you guys tuning in. So please feel free to take advantage of that offer. I've got the coupon code below as well as links to all of his sites. And if you'd like to book a session with Rion, you can also do that at store.teamlight.com. Find out a little bit more about your galactic heritage or just journey through this beautiful awakening process with some of his expertise, tools, and tips. Thank you all again for tuning in. We are sending so much love, gratitude, and blessings from Sedona.
Blessings. Love you guys.